desperate trades or desperate, moves that deplete the future, like there is a responsibility on keeping the franchise, in a good space and good spot when it comes to where we leave this thing when we're done. Nobody wants to be stale or be in a situation where you're passing up opportunities, but it doesn't mean that you're desperate, just flinging assets all around the place.
During the summertime, the offseason leading up to this 2024-25 NBA season, I did a number of videos basically saying, what are the Golden State Warriors really doing? This is not a championship team or even really a playoff team, in my opinion, that I had. And then when the season came along, the Golden State Warriors did good. Their first 15, 20 games or so, I actually did a follow-up video saying, man, I got to apologize to Warriors fans because I was saying that I don't think this team is going to do good. And now here we are in the new year, and they took a bad loss to a bad team with the Toronto Raptors. And now you hear Steph Curry saying, man, we can't do any desperate moves for the future, this and that. Steve Kerr also backed up these sentiments. I have a quote here that I'm going to read. He said, recently, I probably won't be around, but I will tell you, if this organization gave away the next 6 or 7 drafts for a wild swing, that would be the most irresponsible thing they could do. On one hand, this is very honorable what Steph Curry and Steve Kerr are doing. The fact that they are this self-aware about not trying to sabotage the future of the team, even if it means not winning a championship currently right now, while you have Steph Curry still playing like he's in his prime despite his age. And what makes this more interesting is I've never heard a superstar ever have this kind of mindset, especially if they're still in their prime. Not a Kobe Bryant, but if you could tell, hey Kobe, we're going to trade this guy and that guy and get some pieces around you to go for another ring, we're going to mortgage the future, I'm sure he would still be down for it. I'm even thinking back to the Brooklyn Nets when they gave up a whole lot of assets to get Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to team up with Joe Johnson and Darren Williams at the time. Another example in recent years would be the LA Clippers trade that they did with the Thunder, where the Clippers sent Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a whole bunch of draft picks to go get Paul George. So to Steph Curry's credit, that would be the best example of a team going really, really desperate, trying to swing for the fences. Because even if you're not 100% sure what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will turn into with the 11th pick, it's the fact that the Clippers traded like 6 or 7 draft picks on top of a potential player that could turn into something.
I don't think I've ever heard this from a star player. We got to worry about where the franchise is after we're gone. This is like the anti-LeBron. LeBron is the guy who's trade all the draft picks 7 years into the future. I don't care about 2031. It was I would almost, I don't know what Steph's conversations have been with the front office, but I would guess that this sentiment has been explained to the front office.
I'll bring up another point that I've made in connection with the Golden State Warriors. Playing the middle ground, especially in sports, is the worst thing that you could do. You're not losing enough, technically speaking, to actually develop talent, put them out there, let them make mistakes, no matter how bad these losses get. And then at the same time, you're not good enough to actually compete for a championship. So either way, you're not moving forward. It's kind of like you're just stuck in the middle, literally. That's why I keep saying, look, you have one of two options. It's either you trade Steph Curry, trade Draymond Green, just rebuild it totally from scratch, or you do the opposite. You trade some of your future assets that you have, not all of it like the Clippers did, okay, but you trade a good portion of it in order to get a star. And to be honest, with the Warriors, they don't have to trade every little thing that they have. Jimmy Butler is out there, I assume. Maybe you could package Andrew Wiggins and something else to go get him. Just a star player, period, to put beside Steph Curry, because he doesn't have anyone that he can consistently lean on to get baskets. But let me focus a little bit more on the traded Steph Curry part that I mentioned. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes as an NBA star. I'm in the league. If I'm truly concerned about the team's future, I know we're not doing good. I'm going towards the end of my career. I still have a lot in the tank left. I don't want the team to be sabotaged for the sake of trying to get a chip because I'm here. I think that would instinctively lean towards, just trade me. You know what? Let me get off of the team, get all the assets that you have for me, and let me move forward, and you guys could get back a lot and move forward as well. That would make sense, right? Let me know in the comment section what you think about that.
When you have Steph Curry on the team, you pass the ball, because you pass it 2 or 3 times, the defense is scrambling, all hell breaks loose. So it's a choice. We can either do that and win games, or we can shoot, a whole bunch of 15-foot contested shots in the middle of the shot clock and be be a lousy NBA team. It's up to us.
That clip was from December 2024, I believe. Steve Kerr is upset. He's telling guys, look, just pass the ball to Steph Curry. What are we doing? And there's a couple things that come to mind. Number one, as I was saying before, you can't play the middle. It's either you're going to develop the young players or you're going to trade them and try to get some pieces around Steph Curry, people who know the hierarchy of what's going on there. Number two, and this is more of a separate point that could be made, the whole mindset of share the ball movement all the time. We're going to go 10, 12 guys deep. This is something that the Warriors were preaching going into the season as a strength of theirs. That doesn't last long if you're actually trying to win a championship. This is something I strongly believe, and I've repeated in previous videos as well. You need your superstar, someone that could assist them, and then your other role players, or even the third guy, to be honest, after that, your Chris Bosh, Kevin Love. And that's not to say that you play a brand of ISO basketball. I think we've seen enough stars come together and try to just play one-on-one and take turns. That doesn't work either. There needs to be a balance where you're not heavily relying on ISO basketball, and then at the same time, you're not heavily reliant on everybody trying to do something that eventually they're not going to be able to do, which is we need you to score and give us 20, 25 consistently every night, especially in the playoffs. But back to the comments Steve Kerr made, because when Brandon Podziemski was asked about this when he was doing his interview, he was very dismissive, a bit nonchalant about it, like, yeah, we got Steph Curry, I guess we could pass him the ball. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines where it came across like he wasn't taking it seriously enough. And then he went on X and made a post clarifying his statement and talking about how great Steph Curry is. To me, that just showed there's a clear divide going on, maybe subtly, that the young players are trying to do their thing and they're trying to coach them to win, but they're not ready yet. Again, it's time to pick a side. What are we doing here? Fork in the road.
I'm just saying that
he can score a rebound.
You can't stop where you are at this pace when you got a guy like Steph Curry. Then you're wasting away. So even though I appreciate what he said, it's hard to believe that he believes that. And if he does believe it, God bless him, but I don't give a damn. If I'm Joe Lacob, I'm like, what's the chances, guys? What's the chances? At any time in the remainder of my lifetime as owner of the Golden State Warriors, if I'm Joe Lacob and Peter Cooper and those guys, that I'm going to find me another Steph Curry.
I totally agree with Stephen A. Smith. If I'm the owner of the Warriors, I would sit down with Steph Curry, Steve Kerr even, because you heard what he said, and I would tell them, look, let's not worry about tomorrow, the future. We don't know what that holds. All we have is right now at this current moment. And what we have is one of the greatest players of all time, the greatest shooter on our squad who can still light it up and get us a championship if we have the right squad. Yes, we are going to mortgage some of our future to try to make you presently get us another championship. Absolutely, that's my mindset. Y'all let me know in the comment section how you're looking at this. Do you agree with Steph Curry? Nah, just chill. Don't try to, make anything drastic and make a big trade. Or are you on the side of what Stephen A. was saying? Do everything you can to get pieces around Steph Curry and then go for it all. Y'all already know, man. Hit me up in the comment section and start the discussion. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, salute for listening. Peace.